Hello, people. This is Deanna with Food Bank Beautiful, and I have insomnia, which means I am always up in the wee hours of the night. So tonight my house is quiet, and I've been laying in bed looking at a bunch of things, and I've decided to start a project tonight and finish it in the morning, and then do some other projects. So if you are in real time, you need to go to bed. This video will come up in a day or two, and you can watch it in the afternoon like normal people. All right, just a mention, this channel is dedicated to people who use Food Bank. And I want to make sure that you feel very comfortable and very happy about being able to go to the food bank. It is a good thing. People find themselves in difficult situations for a number of reasons, and sometimes food bank is an excellent resource. So I really encourage you to go to your local food bank. You can Google food bank in my area, put in your zip code, and it should pop up what's available for you. All right, so what I'm going to do is I got a bag of frozen strawberries about 2 weeks ago. And then today I got a bag of frozen peaches. Now that's lovely. I would like to do smoothies and all kinds of wonderful things with those, but I do not have the freezer space. So I'm going to go ahead and preserve them. I'm going to do a strawberry and peach mix, and whatever the water bath timing is for whichever one water baths the longest, that's the one I will use. And then I will use this to put on top of oatmeal, or I'll stick it in its canned form in my smoothies. It's just what we have to do. I have a great freezer, but it's sitting in New Mexico enjoying the sunshine. What I really need is to have it here. So I'm not going to keep you forever. I'm just going to do the steps. So I'll go ahead and stop here. I'll flip the camera. Okay, here we are. You can see my mix of strawberries and peaches, and they're just right out of the frozen bags in here. And the directions that I read for the strawberries said to put some sugar. Now you don't have to do that if you don't want, but I do. So put some sugar on your fruit and let it sit for a few hours, and then it'll make its own juice, and then you'll put it on the stove to simmer a certain amount of time, and then you'll can it. So tomorrow we'll go through all those directions. Oh, I lost count how much sugar. Holy cow, you guys are killing me. Okay, I think that's a cup. Maybe not. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to see, well, I'll just swing you over. This is what we get. This is what it looks like. This is pretty common. So hopefully you will get something like this when you go to your local food bank. This is just one way to use it. I have used my peaches and made peach cobbler. My family really liked that. With the strawberries, I have made strawberry lemonade for summertime concentrate, and we sampled it in the winter, and it's beautiful. So those are just two ways that I use these. Of course, you could take these frozen berries out and stick them on top of yogurt parfaits. You could make a little fruit salad. You could do whatever you wanted, but this is what I'm choosing to do tonight, only because I do not have room in my freezer. Okay, people, I'm going to stop you here, and I'll see you in the morning. If you're awake like me, try to get some sleep or do something constructive or fun, and I'll see you in the morning. All right, bye-bye. Okay, first things first, this is going to be separate videos, I think, but maybe not. We'll see how it goes together. Maybe it'll be all the canning I did in one day. So right here, I have some sugared fruit that needs to sit and get its own juice going, so it can do that while I'm wide awake. But this is the project that I originally planned to do tomorrow. So I'm going to can myself at least 4 quarts of yellow potatoes. I find that these are the best for canning. I use these predominantly for a breakfast dish that I make that my family really loves. My family is myself. I'm a 60-year-old woman. My husband, he's 70 years old. And my itty bitty tiny gorgeous lovely, lovely, lovely grandma, Charlene. She's 92. So we like our fried potato hash. I make it maybe once a week. These potatoes canned for that are absolutely perfect. So that's what I'm going to do. I did try my canned potatoes as mashed, and for me, there was a taste to them, and I did not prefer that. But I prefer these yellow ones when I can. Now you can see that this one might not make the cut. Just as I picked it up, it feels really iffy. So I believe I'm just going to call it, and I'm going to part with this potato. If it were any other sort of vegetable, I might be willing to give it to my chickens, but not this. So don't watch if this is going to hurt your feelings. Right there in the garbage. And maybe this one. Maybe I'll wait until I peel them and cut them tomorrow morning. But anyway, that's what I'm going to work on tomorrow project-wise is the strawberries and the peaches. Get those on my canning shelves. These potatoes. And I think that I am going to make a delicious cranberry crock pot dinner with stuffing, cranberries, some of my candied orange slices. Well, they're not candied, they're spiced orange slices. Anyway, we'll see. There's a big fat chance I'll sit on my butt and do nothing, but we don't know. Okay, I will find you back here tomorrow, or you'll find me. We'll see what I actually get done. Like I said, it's very, very possible that I will sit on my fat butt or probably sleep. I don't know, but usually when I have a bout like this, I don't go to sleep for about 48 hours, so we will see. And I just want to show you my glamorous, glamorous, glamorous super beauty bun. Are you ready? All right, here you go, friends. Can you see it? That's the best I can do. That is just it. I can't do anything here, people. It's just not going to happen. All right, on a serious note, again, please, if you feel like you're trying to buy groceries and you've got car payments and house payments and maybe something's happened to your income stream or you've been ill, whatever the reason is, it does not matter. The reason is 100% your business, not anybody else's. All right? So if you end up going to the food bank for the first time or going back after a long time or feel like you got a little bit of encouragement from me to go, I want you to let me know in the comments. I want to know that you're using your food bank. All right, I'll see you when I see you. All right, bye-bye. Okay, here I am. I'm going to go ahead. This is what I like to do. Now these dishes have already, actually these are right out of the box. But sometimes I'm using cans that or jars that I have used before and they sit on my shelf after they've been through the dishwasher. No matter where they are at that stage, the first thing I do is I turn my tap water on. And my tap water runs really, really, really hot. And this is what I do. I'm just going to put a little bit of soap in there, and I don't bother with a sponge because I think my hands are cleaner than a sponge. I could be wrong. Now remember, these are factory washed. I don't know if they're washed, but they're fresh from the factory, so we're just going to give them a really good wash. And then I take that water and I pop it into the next cup. Rinse that out really good. Feels nice and squeaky clean. There we go. Then I'm going to fill this jar up with water. And I'm going to move it to my canner. And I'm going to put my canner on and let it steam those for as long as it takes me to get to them. And I find that for me, that appears to be something that... Okay, I have already filled my pressure canner with the right amount of water to water bath. Actually, I have it. There's just a few inches in there. I just you'll see what I'm going to do. What I do is I put my filled jars of water in here, then I fill this up with water over the top of the jars, and I let them just get as hot as they can. After that, when I'm ready to fill the jars, I take my jars over to my filling station, I dump this out, and I put in the correct amount of water to water bath, and then everything's fresh and tidy. But let me just show you this. It's as easy. I don't know what you guys do, but this seems to work the best for me. Okay, this is just a jar that has been, it was brand new, so I hand washed it in hot water, and then I filled it with hot water, and now I'm just sticking it in my canner. I'll do that with all the jars, and I have a lot to do this morning before I get back to these, so I know that these are going to be simmering hot for a long time, and for me that feels like I have met the requirement of cleaning, sterilizing, making sure that I'm not going to kill anybody over some strawberries and peaches. There we go. Okay, one more, people, one more. Okay, now I'm going to add some water because for this I want water over the tops of the jars. And then when I'm done with this, Grandma's not awake yet, so I'm going to run out and feed my chickens. Oh, maybe just one more. And then I'll start getting my strawberries and peaches ready. Okay, there we go. So that is done. That can just work for me while I'm doing everything else. And we'll see how it goes. All right, I'll be back like that. You guys will have some time to go do what you want. All right, ta-ta. Okay, I am back. I have a clean pot right here, and I'm going to go ahead and add my strawberry mixture and get that simmering. It is pouring rain here, and my back door is open, so you are most definitely going to hear the rain, and you are going to hear my rooster's out, so you're going to hear him, and then eventually Grandma's going to get up, and you'll probably hear her call for me. So these are my strawberries and my peaches that I let soak in sugar, a little bit of sugar, to release all of their own juices. Recipe said that's really important, that it'll enhance the flavor, and I tend to agree with them. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in this pot here. And I know the angle is not great. You guys would die laughing if you could see how I've got this tripod situated. It's sitting precariously on a box of half-opened pint jars. And this tripod is, I'm not going to name it by name, but I would certainly not recommend it to anybody. It likes to just fall over and tip and do all sorts of things. I honestly feel that it is a little bit possessed, but what do I know about possession? Okay, there's that. Those are all in there. And I'm going to go ahead and turn my heat on. And then I feel like I need to move this box. You won't be able to see it anyway, so I'm going to... Okay, this is the strawberry and peaches in the pan. I've turned the burner on. I'm going to bring this up to a simmer. Once it simmers for about 10 minutes, I'll go ahead and stick it in the jars and we'll process. So let's see how it goes. It sure looks pretty. I'm going to taste that syrup and see if I like the sweetness of that syrup. I'm going to do that off camera though. All right, I'll be back. Okay, I am back. My strawberries and peaches are right here. And in the meantime, I peeled about half of my potatoes. They're sitting in the sink in a bowl of cold water waiting for me to get to them. I am going to turn my camera around because I don't know how much you'll be able to see, but there's my steamy peaches. And now let's turn this around and I'll walk you through how I can. Now bear with me because it'll take me a minute to find the right place to get the camera. Okay, I believe we're back. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to grab something that I can scoop out of. Now these have been sitting in here for about a half hour. They've been brand new glasses. They've been hand washed with soap and water. And then I just have them sit in here until I need them. And you can see that those are nice and steamy and hot. So I'm going to put a jar down. It's nothing new here. For those of you who know how to can, you're not going to learn anything new here. For those of you who've never canned before, maybe you'll be encouraged to try something. That is very hot. So I am going to, let's get a little bit closer so you can see. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and fill my jars. And I don't know how many I'm going to get, but the recipe said to really try to fill them as much as you could because the fruit would just do its shrinking in the can, in the jar. It's going to be a 1/2 inch of headspace, and I've got to can for the peaches time. Strawberry is 10 minutes and peaches are 10. So we're going to go ahead, peaches are 20. So we're going to go ahead and do for the peaches with the 1/2 inch headspace. I'm going to debubble. This is really important. This is one of your most important steps. If you forget to do this, you'll have trapped air in your jars and you run the risk of having your seal be bad. So go ahead and just take the time and make sure you get all the air out. Okay? Get all the air out. Now that is a little bit low for headspace liquid, so we're going to give it a little bit more. There we go. And then this is what I like to do. I like to run my finger around the edge first and make sure there's no cracked space, because if I wait till the last minute to do that, then I have to start all over again. I keep a tupper of vinegar with my canning supplies. I also keep a stack of cut up paper towels because I don't like to use the same paper towel going from rim to rim. I like a nice, fresh paper towel. Okay, I'm satisfied that there's no syrupy stuff on here. So now we're going to jar this up, put the lid on, put the ring on, and you've heard everybody say 100 times, finger tight. Don't do it too tight. You won't have room for those steams to get out. And I'm going to put my jar back in. That's as easy as this is. Let's see if we can get 5 jars. I don't know if we can or not, but we will certainly try. Again, I'm just going to pour that water back out in here because I'm going to water bath these. If I were pressure canning, I would take all my jars out. I would put in the right amount of hot water, and then I would go ahead and can. Now my rooster has just come into my house. He's right on the front door opening. There's some treaties down there, so he's going to probably come in and visit us. I'll have to keep an eye on him. Harry loves to go see Grandma, so I think that he wants to come in and go see Grandma, but Grandma's still asleep this morning. She's a little beauty queen. I got up and made some coffee, and she just was sound asleep still. And then I went in to check on her a little bit ago, and she was still asleep. So I heard her coughing, though, so I knew she was, you know, alive and breathing, which is always the goal. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get that just a little more. Okay, so that looks good to me. Again, I'm going to take a clean paper towel, square, dip it in my vinegar, run my finger around the edge. I do that first to make sure I don't have any chips or anything else like that. And then I run that around. Now this is a syrup, so I do take some time to make sure that's good. My hands have been washed and are very tidy, so I have no concerns there. We're going to pop a little lid on. And finger tight, people say it with me. Finger tight. Finger tight. It's sometimes easier if I pull the next jar out before I put the new jar in. So that's what we're going to do for this one. There we go. We got 2 jars done. I don't know if we can get 5. Maybe 4 is going to be our best. We will see. I'm guessing 4. It looks like there's just enough for 4, but you know what? Ouch, that was hot. 4 is fine. 4 is fine. This isn't something that I will use all the time. I am going to take this strawberry out. Can I get it? Come on, come on out. There we go. I just don't like the look of that strawberry. See if we can get a little more fruit. And I don't like the look of this one either. There we go. Okay. That should be good. We're going to debubble. Okay, that looks, we get everything. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and wipe the rim. Feeling very productive today, and I'm enjoying Harry on my back porch. He is such a little hootie. I'd love to show him to you, but I cannot stop and play with Harry while we are doing this. You guys would turn me into the canning police, and rightly so. Okay, that feels good. All right, there's our 4th can. So this can go over waffles, pancakes, it can go on oatmeal, it can go on yogurt parfaits. It can do just about whatever it wants to do. I'm going to pull out the next jar. Okay, right there. This jar can go in. Here we go. And I'm pretty sure that this will be the last jar that I can do here. You can just ignore that. I just gave it a little bit of time to pre-do those jars. Trying to get the last of that out. And let me tip this and see if I can get just a little bit more. See if we can't squish those down in there. That might be a little bit overfilled. Let's see what happens when I bubble. Yeah, I'm going to pop this one back out and this one back out. Let's see what that does. Okay, that looks good to me. Okay, I'm gonna just check it with my finger. That feels pretty sticky, so I know that I need to be pretty diligent about wiping the edges off. Again, a sticky rim can cause your jar not to seal. It's not the end of the world, but it is disappointing. You put it in the refrigerator and you eat it within the next few days. Okay. I'm thinking I could also strain this and make a peach strawberry crisp if I wanted to. Okay, let's debubble. Let's get that down there. It's a 1/2 inch of headspace. I'm going to do one more. I just want to be super careful. Okay. And where are my other lids? Okay, there's that one. Hi, Harry. Hello, Harry. You looking for Grandma? She's not up yet. She is not up yet, big boy. I'm putting this one in. Well, in a second. Let me get these rearranged. Now, I think I have a few tiny pieces of fruit left and some syrup, but I'm going to go ahead and can that as well, because that will be lovely on top of other things. Here's my lid over here. Let me give it a quick wash. Okay. Now, some of you might be curious as to why Harry's allowed in the house. He was hand-raised by my grandmother and myself from the time that he was 3 days old to present, because we got him in October, and there's no way that they could go out into the coop in October. So in October and December, they lived in my grandmother's room. Whoopsie, we're gonna have to do that. Ooh, that's hot too. Do we have to do that? Oh no, look at that, it's perfect. Ta-da! Magic is happening here, people. Magic. Now there is just a tiny bit of fruit in here, but I'll be using this for syrup on pancakes or waffles, or I'll be putting it into smoothies or whatever I want to do, but I'm not gonna waste all that good sugar and the fruit that I got. Now, the peaches and the strawberries were both food bank items. You follow me, you know that I do not have room in my freezer for hardly anything. So when I get frozen things, I need to preserve them differently in order to save my freezer space. Okay, and just like that, you guys, we have done 5 pints of 5 pints of strawberries and preserves. Now I'm going to turn you off because I need to adjust the water in this pot. You guys don't need to be seeing that. And then I'll just take a picture of what it looks like, and then we'll continue on a little bit later. Okay, the timer has come off, so I'm going to go ahead and take out my strawberries and peaches, and you can see them right there. Isn't that a beautiful jar to have on your cupboards? So nice. Now that one looks like there might have been some siphoning. We will see. Here's the one that's mostly just the juice. I'll be using that for syrup for pancakes or waffles. Here's the other one. Looking good. There's the next one. And there's the 5th one. Wow, I feel so nice about having that. Very nice. Hey friends, I'm over at my counter minding my own business, dealing with my strawberry and peach jars, and here is a little squirrel named Gordita's little friend, and there are some peanuts on my mat, and so she is allowed to come into the mat and pick out what she wants, and then she can go back out and do her thing. Also today, my rooster Harry is allowed out in the backyard all by himself, so he's been hanging around. So if he wants to come in, he'll come to the door and walk in, and then I'll set him somewhere with a tea towel and he can visit us. But anyway, there's our little Gordita. Actually, this is Gordita's little friend. Gordita is a much bigger squirrel, same variety, and she's the one that's a little bossy on the playground. So we'll see. Isn't that adorable, people? That just makes my day. It's these little things that make life so fun. All right, I have 1,000 things to do, and watching little Gordita is not at the top of the list. Okay, I'm back. I've been busy since you last saw me. I've been working in my house. I got dinner in the crock pot. I have peeled more potatoes, and now I'm getting ready to can them. So I'm going to lower my camera down so you can see what I'm doing. I'll walk you through at least one can. I might be two, and then you can just assume the rest are all the same. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do before I adjust the camera is I'm going to take my hot cans out of my canner. This is just where I like to keep them while I am doing other things. So as you can see, they have been sitting in my canner, nice and hot. I'm going to walk them over to the sink and dump that water out, and then I'm going to come back and fill them. I like to carry mine, of course, with this, and then I like to hold them on the bottom with a pot holder. So I'll be right back. All right, now those of you who are watching who are experienced canners, you will not learn anything from me, but if you are new to canning, you might learn something from me. General rule of thumb is if you're dealing with hot food, you need to have a hot jar and you need to go into a hot canner. First thing I'm going to do is add 1 teaspoon of canning salt. And then I am going to add my potatoes. And we're going to get those in there. Just like that. And I decided last time I canned potatoes is that I really don't like my potatoes all the way up to the top. I just didn't like the way they looked in the jar, so I'm not going to worry about getting these too full. I have some hot water over here, so I'm going to leave you. I'm going to come back to you. Okay, I just decided to bring my hot water over to here so you can see it. So hot jar, hot potatoes, hot water. We're just going to go ahead and fill that up. 1 inch headspace is what we're looking for. And just put another little dab in there. And then we're going to get rid of the air bubbles. I'm just going to go ahead and debubble. Doesn't matter what you debubble with. You can use a chopstick, you can use a straw. Just don't encourage you to use anything metal. You want to protect the integrity of your jar. All right, so I don't see any more bubbles coming out. I'm going to look and see where I'm at for headspace. I'm right at the 1 inch. So this is so easy. The next thing I'm going to do is I always keep a stack of cut tissues. I keep them in a plastic bag with my canning supplies, and I like to use 1 tissue per can. That's just the way I am. I like to go around the top with my finger first, make sure I don't feel any nicks or anything, and then I like to go around the rim, and then I am done. Okay, I had to go grab my lids. So these have been soaking in fairly hot water. We're just going to go ahead and can them. We're going to finger tight that lid, and then we're going to pop back into the canner. So So I'm going to do one more jar for you on screen because I was kind of all over the place there. And then we'll be ready to go. Again, this is my hot jar that was sitting in my canner. It's been washed in the dishwasher. It's been hand washed. And then it's been sitting in boiling water until I can get to it. So I feel pretty confident that this is good enough. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a teaspoon of canning salt. Then we're going to add our potatoes, which blanched for a few minutes. I think the recipe said 4. I don't worry about it too much. I mean, I do at least 4, but if it gets a little bit more than that while I'm busy, I can live with that. And now I'm going to add my hot water. That's right at the 1-inch headspace, but I might need a little bit more. I'm going to turn off my stove. There we go. And I'm going to debubble. Don't forget this part. This is probably one of the most important parts to make sure that you have a nice seal. You don't want to have siphoning if you can at all help it. Okay, I am going to look at that. And I feel like that's right at the 1-inch spot. So I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on. As you can see, that is not difficult. Finger tight. And I'm actually going to leave this one out right here because I've got to empty some water in my canner before I actually can. So it'll be okay there for the minute or two that it takes me to do this. All right, I will come back to you when the potatoes come out of the canner. I'm going to pressure can them for 40 minutes in my Nesco pressure canner. Okay, all my cans are in the pressure canner. I'm going to go ahead and adjust the top part first. I want it on exhaust. I'm going to secure the lid. Make sure that's on exhaust. There we go. And then I'm going to go pressure canner high 40 minutes. There we go. And then I'm going to hit start. Now, whatever pressure canner you use, you want to make sure that you have your directions handy at all times in case you forget what you're doing. I always keep mine right here, and then it goes into a plastic bag right underneath my canner in the space where I can. And that's done, people. We're going to give this 40 minutes to do its thing. Then it's going to cool down in the canner for about an hour. Then I'll be able to pull it out. And I think I'm also going to try to do 4 more quarts. I'm going to sit down, watch TV, drink another cup of coffee, peel my potatoes, and get those all ready to soak in cold water. I might as well do the other 4 quarts if I've come this far. All right, I will see you later. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start my second batch. I already have my potatoes peeled, chopped, cleaned. They've been soaking in cold water for an hour, hour and a half. I have the water boiling on the stove so I can blanch them really quick. And then I just need to clean this out and get it ready so I can put my hot jars in it until I'm ready to process. Everything else is good to go. So that is going to be it for me today. I might come back with one more little clip. Might be me and Harry. Might be me doing something else. Who knows? All right. Thank you, guys. So this is Harry. He's my rooster, or Grandma's rooster. It doesn't really matter. He's our rooster. We've had him since he was 3 days old, and he's a semi-house rooster, which means that on days where I can keep an eye on him, he can just play in the backyard, and then I leave my back door open and he can come in as he chooses. So he usually comes through the door long enough to eat a snack or two, a peanut or some grapes, or if he's lucky, some mealy worms, anything that I have handy, and then he goes back outside to play. However, there are plenty of times where he feels pretty agreeable to me picking him up, and then he'll just sit with me on my lap and be a good boy he can go 30 or 40 minutes, and then he usually wants down. He just makes himself comfy. Um, he's fairly housebroken, though I do always keep him on a tea towel with a little supply of wipes or wipies right over there. So this is Harry. Hey, Harry. We're taking a break from canning. I've canned 4 quarts of potatoes, 5 quarts of strawberry and peach, and then I'm going to do another 4 quarts of potatoes after dinner, and I cooked dinner. So we're just resting. I love you, bug boy. You're so handsome. He's extraordinarily handsome. Here he is. And he's young too. October, November, December, January. He's only 4 months old. Yeah, him so handsome. Today he was chasing Gordita the squirrel out of the house. So he was kind of being protective. Anyway, there he is, Harry.